And welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. It's Monday, and we have a great week ahead of us, and we have a great person to share our time with. Most of you know Mr. Larry Kozak because he's been on the stage time and time and time again as a speaker and as a presenter and, of course, as a coach. So, Larry, welcome from Canada to all of our friends in North America. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I have to tell you, I want to tell all of our viewers, Larry and I were talking a minute ago, and, because of the pandemic and this terrible COVID-19, instead of Larry and I seeing each other 3 or 4 times a year for a week, we haven't been together in a person-to-person meeting in probably 18 to 20 months. So we're looking forward to this terrible thing ending. So not only can we all have our life resumed, but we can spend time together with people that we enjoy, like Larry and Ramona Kozak. So thanks for being a great client, a great speaker, a great coach, and a great deliverer of information. So how long have you been coaching for us now, full time?
I started in 1999.
So it's been quite a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
21 years.
Yeah. How long has Ramona been coaching?
Maybe close to 15.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And how long have we been working together? Because we were working together as a client and as a company before you were coaching.
I heard about Mike Ferry in the spring of '89, and in the summer, I went to Palm Springs in the summer to the retreat. Now, Mike, 1989, there's no emails or texting or anything. I mean, it was a hassle, to get a plane ticket and I'm going to the United States. I mean, it was a big deal, and get all the way out there and remember the pagers didn't work when you're in the United States. We had pagers then, and I'd started real estate in 1987, in the summer of '87. So this was a year and a half later. I got involved with Mike Ferry. 1989.
In fact, I think it was that same year or a few months before that we actually started for the first time doing coaching for people. Yeah. I think you were in the very beginning of that. So I've never asked you this question, Larry. Do you have a military background? Because you're so incredibly disciplined. It always reminds me of being a military person. Do you have a background in the military?
No, I think it was because my mom used to beat me with a stick when I was little. I mean, I had strict parents. My dad was European and my mom has a French background, and they were old school, and that's the way we were kind of brought up. If you said you were going to do something, you did it, and to the best of your ability or whatever, just kind of like that. So no military background, just well brought up, I guess.
Well, were you brought up in Canada or in Europe?
Yeah, no, in a small village, a small town in New Brunswick, northern New Brunswick, right on the Quebec border.
So that was a long time ago. And when did you come down to the Greater Toronto area?
I came here in the early. I came here to live permanently in the early '70s.
Okay, good. That's great. Well, we've been blessed. I want all of our viewers to know this, to have Larry and Ramona part of our team for a long time. And we couldn't be happier. How many people do you coach? You keep a pretty busy schedule, don't you?
Yeah. I have 65 right now. Plus, I'm coaching the Russian coaches in Russia. Yeah,
which is really fun. In fact, Larry and I are going to be in Russia together in a very short period of time, which is exciting. Speaking to a lot of we're going to have 650 agents in Sochi, Russia, Larry. So it's going to be an exciting time for us again, and it'll be nice to finally be able to shake hands and see you live instead of only virtually all the time. So, Larry, coaching as many people as you've coached, I know that there's certain things that you've seen in people that make them outstanding. People call them qualities, characteristics. What are a couple of the identifying things that our viewers could also do that you and I have seen in so many successful people?
Well, I would say every person that I coach, people join the Mike Ferry coaching not to be mediocre. You know,
Okay.
they join coaching and they're paying a lot of money every month, and some of them been up for years and years and years. They're looking for big time success. And I would say probably every one of my coaching clients have that characteristic to some degree, that they're all winners, because most of them, they will do what the losers won't do.
Such a great point.
You know, and I'm not talking rocket science. I'm talking like, you know, look successful, dress properly, arrive on time.
Yep.
See that
Yeah.
sign behind me?
Oh yeah.
Talk to
Read it.
people.
Read it to the audience.
Yeah, it says talk to people. I leave it hanging there for all my coaching calls to remind every client, you know, because they all ask me, oh, coach, how do I make more money? I just turn around and go, well, how do I get more listings? I just turn around and go, yeah. Well, how do I get more sales? Right here. Yeah. How do I build my database? Here. Look, I mean, it's so simple. So you know, most of all these coaching clients have that characteristic that they will do things that they're winners, because they'll do things that the losers won't do. For example, I was just thinking about a couple of clients of mine, Kuwinder and Ekbal Verk. Now they're from Toronto, and they joined coaching in 2018. So they've been in coaching about 3 years. Now, last year, they got up to 36 deals. And this year, right now, they're closed and pending at 67.
Wow, that is great.
In Toronto, it's $1 million+ for these guys. And they're so excited. And Mike, they deserve it. I mean, Ekbal was a factory worker, and his wife, Kuwinder, was a nurse in Toronto. And I mean, these people work, you know, 5.5 to 6 days every week. They each make 20 contacts a day. They got a bunch of little kids at home. They door knock, the phone calls, and it's so great. I mean, I just love it to be involved. I'm so proud of these people and the success they're having. Another gentleman, Brian Ogletree, from Dayton, Ohio.
Yes.
Salt of the earth, this guy, right? Another factory worker. What is it with factory workers? You know?
Discipline.
Yeah. And been in coaching since 2015. And I mean, you know, he'll close 155 deals in Dayton, Ohio this year. The guy he asks a lot of questions, this guy. He's always asking questions. Number one source of business, past clients and center of influence. I mean, great customer service. And it always looks nice. Every time I see this guy, he comes to the coaching call early in the morning. I'm coaching this guy at 7:30. Always got a shirt and tie on. Man, he looks like $1 million. Another gentleman, an American guy, Mark McKenna, from Marlton, New Jersey. Been in coaching, in the Mike Ferry coaching, since 2003.
Wow, good for him.
18 years in coaching, right? Premier coaching. Now, last year he did 220 deals, and right now he's at 300 closed and pending. He'll do 400 this year, Mike. 400 deals using the Mike Ferry sales system. This guy, he follows a strict morning schedule, and of those 400 deals, he'll do 200 himself.
That is great. That is great.
Number one source of business right here. Look, on the phone.
You know, it's interesting.
Right there. Look, talk to people. Yeah.
You know, you and I have listened to Earl Nightingale thousands of times, the recordings, and Earl Nightingale called it the common denominator of success, learning to do the things that unsuccessful people will not do. And that's really what you've identified, which, you know, if we could just get everybody, that all of our great viewers on Mike Ferry TV, to just stop for a minute and say, just what is one thing I could do today for 30, 40, maybe 50 minutes to separate me from the crowd, they would win.
Mhm.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's the, and that's, that point of yours is outstanding. I also know that, Larry, doing what you and Ramona have done for so long as coaches and as agents and running a big team and selling thousands of homes, which you guys have done all this at the same
Uh-huh.
time, as well as raising what, 8 children. So,
Hey, kids,
I
yeah.
mean, you've had about 9 full-time jobs at one time. So what are some of the common challenges that you see our clients facing or dealing with on a regular basis?
I like to keep it real simple, Mike.
Yes.
And the number one challenge they have is they're missing appointments.
Say that again.
They're missing appointments.
So what does that mean? Missing appointments? I mean, they have an appointment, they don't show up, or they have
Yeah.
leads that,
Yeah.
wow.
You know, every one of my coaching clients that I'm coaching currently has 5 preset appointments every day. They have,
Okay.
when they show up at the when they show up, they have 5 preset appointments. The first one, arrive on time. That's the first appointment. And they
Yeah.
have to bring with them 3 things: the right attitude, the right approach, and high expectations.
So clear.
And some of them, from time to time, they miss it. I got to keep on them. They miss that
Yep.
first appointment, and it's critical.
Yeah. Yep.
Second appointment that sometimes they miss, and it's a challenge, is their practice routine.
Yes.
How do you get good at anything? You practice and practice and practice. It goes like this here, Mike. It says you practice a little bit, and then you practice a little more, and you get a little better. You practice a little more, and it goes on top, and that goes on top, and it goes on top, and you get better and better and better and better, and all of a sudden, boom, you're great. You know,
Yeah.
you separate yourself up from the rest. It's that repetitive practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. You get to be a better listener. You get to be a better agent.
I just
The
think
third
that,
appointment they miss is the lead follow-up appointment.
yep.
That's the third. It's preset every day. Show up, practice routine, and follow up on your leads. That's the third appointment. And this is the appointment where there's a lot of money made here or a lot of tears shed here, one or
Yep.
the other.
Yep.
Okay. And you know, I pound on them every day. Use the Mike Ferry lead follow-up system, the little 3x3, 5x5 card. Keep them with you all the time. Keep them with you. You know, follow the 3-3 rule and know what to say, and be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Yep.
You know, be aggressive.
What's the fourth appointment?
The fourth appointment, of course, is lead generation or prospecting appointment.
Yep.
Okay. This is where the rubber hits the road. You've taught me, and we've taught other agents, there's only 3 ways to find business: wait for it, buy it, or go and find it. And we promote the going and finding it. It's predictable, duplicatable, and very cost effective.
Yes.
And one thing you taught me many, many years ago, that the very first time that I met you in July in Palm Springs, and you said that selling real estate in high volume is a numbers game. That's what
Yeah.
you said from the stage. And you said that if you know what your numbers are, if you know how many people that you have to talk to get a lead, how many leads to get an appointment, how many appointments to get a contract, it's virtually impossible not to reach your goal.
That's right.
And you know what? I believed you. I believed you. Yeah. I got something right here I can show you here. This is 1989, and this is the MLS board here in Lindsay, where I am, gave me this award for the agent that sold the most listings, MLS listings.
Isn't that great?
1989. That was the first year I got involved with Mike Ferry.
That is outstanding. Good
It's
for
a
you.
numbers game. If you work the numbers, it's virtually impossible not to reach your goal.
Impossible to fail if you just keep talking to people and play the numbers.
That's correct. And then the fifth appointment is real simple. Go on an appointment. Get in a house. And preferably not one that you own. Okay.
What a great thought. I've
How
never,
many times have you said over the years, you can't go on too many appointments? You
that's
know, you,
correct.
you can sit in the office in the afternoon and fool around on TikTok or Facebook or whatever. Or I remember the story. I think remind me about your broker dropped you off down the street.
Yes.
Well, how did that go?
Well, Pat McVeigh would grab Larry Klepping or one of the other people, and he'd say, "Come here, I want Mike, you and I, and we're going to go for a ride." So, he's our broker. We'd say, "Okay." And he would drive about 2 miles from the office into a neighborhood. And he'd say, "Let's get out of the car." And we'd get out of the car, and he'd say, "Okay,
Yeah.
leaving." And he would just jump in the car and drive away and say, "Knock on doors until you get back to the office." Well, sometimes we'd be 3 or 4 miles away. So we had one choice: talk to people or really walk 3 miles back with, being
That's
a
right. Yeah.
failure. And
Get in a house. One time you were in Toronto and we were doing an event up in North Toronto at the Premier Ballroom. Remember that place?
Yep,
Yeah.
I remember the ballroom.
And there was a guy there from Buffalo, New York, and you introduced him. And at the time, he had done 100 sales that year. I'd never met anybody that, there's lots of them now, but back then, 30 years ago or whatever. And so anyway, during a break, I made my way over to this guy, and I said, if there was any word of advice you could give me, to get to the production that you got, what would it be? And he turned to me and he said, "Get in a house every day."
So simple.
I never forgot that. Get in a house every day. Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, Larry, this idea of the 5 appointments, I've heard you say it. And of course, you can't see this, but I've written so many notes down on what you said. I hope that all of our viewers are doing the same, because this really is invaluable. Show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
Do your practice and role play.
Yeah.
Do your lead follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Do your prospecting, talking to people, and get in a house and talk to people.
That's right.
I wrote all 5 points down as you gave them, which, here's the good news. For Larry and I know that we never stop learning. We never stop learning a better way to present what it is we have to say. So you've done dozens and dozens of seminars for 3 days, 4 days at a time, representing the company all over Canada and in the US. If you had to give one piece of advice, and of course, I think you could just say, do the 5 appointments would be a great piece of advice. But what's one piece of advice you'd give these people? Because we've been talking now for almost 20 minutes, and that's usually they ring the bell in my office that I'm supposed to stop. What's the one piece of advice you would give all these great viewers today?
Talk to people. And of course, stay in coaching, stay in the Mike Ferry coaching for as long as you're in the real estate business. I mean, Mike, this is a lonely business. It's very lonely. A lot of the coaching calls, 15, 20 minutes, I'm giving them, we're talking about prospecting or a script or an objection. But for a good 8, 10, 12 minutes, sometimes they're saying, "Coach Larry, okay, I got this client. They said this. I said that. They said this. What do you," I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else could they talk to? They can talk to anybody in their office because, it's like hot and cold. They have no idea what they're doing. So it's a lonely business. Stay in coaching. Be close to your coach. Your coach has, number one, I tell them my number one job, help you make money. That's my number one job. That's the number one job that I have. Help you make money. Stay in coaching and do what your coach asks you to do. And you've been saying this lately, participate.
Yes, participate.
Yeah. I send a question out. If they don't answer, man, I'm on that phone. Hey, how come you didn't answer? Participate.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, this has been a great Mike Ferry TV for all of our viewers. And we'll have a lot of people watching, Larry. And then, of course, as you know, what's going to happen is they're going to say, "I want to sign up for coaching and I want Larry as my coach." And I'm going to tell them, you'll be blessed if you get Larry and Ramona as a coach, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. So don't hesitate to get involved and participate. But Larry, I am really looking forward to being able to have the borders open between one of my favorite places in the world, which is Canada. As you know, my wife was born and raised there. actually born in Germany and raised in Canada. And we're hoping those borders open up soon so we can, the four of us, have dinner and good times together. And we wish all of our Canadian clients the best. And of course, I wish you and Ramona and the entire family the best also. So I'm going to say thank you for today. And I'll sign off by saying, Larry, don't retire. Keep up the great work, okay?
Of course. Thank you, Mike.